Hello and most welcome to 1867 of the Heidegger series. We will today continue with the private language, the diary case by Canfield. As you may remember, Canfield was also the one behind Wittgenstein and Zen. Hello, and last time we started to look into mentalese. It's the language of the interior. And of course this is a variety of the private language argument. I will continue on page 379, last paragraph. Second, the philosophical context for the discussion of paragraph 258. 258 is the paragraph that we began with, and that was in lecture 1854, 13 lectures previously. And it all started with a statement by Jerry Fodor. This, the mentalese story, is about as un-Wittgensteinian a view of conceptual geography as it is possible to hold. If the mentalese story about the content of thought is true, then there couldn't be a private language argument. So this is where we stopped last in the discussion of paragraph 258, mentalese, and the philosophical context for the discussion is where I now start as subtitle. The idea of a private language originates in the deeply held and pervasive picture of the private object. A false analogy according to which we stand to our conscious states as we relate to, say, things we see or touch, generates the notion of the private object. On one hand, the perceiver. On the other hand, the entity. And between the two, the relationship being aware of. Many words are implicated in this metaphysical picture. Talk of pain, anger, joy, belief, desire, intention, and so on, gets understood in terms of the false analogy with perception. Anger, for example, is this as something I am aware of in the way I am aware of such things as the table in front of me, only immediately. Seeing itself gets understood through the same analogy. The result being the idea of sense data or visual experience. Aware of a given mental entity, I can give it a name, just as I can name what I see. Given the existence of the private object, surely I can baptize it if I wish. These remarks presuppose a distinction between two types of names. Those we use every day in talking about what we feel or are aware of, and those we do metaphysics with. Pain and fear are examples of the first type. They are not private in that everyone understands them. They are linked to a certain natural expressions or behavioral manifestations. Manifestations such as writhing in pain. According to Wittgenstein, to learn the first person use of such words is to learn to give a verbal expression of the state of being in pain. or the state of being angry. And so on. In rejecting private language, Wittgenstein does not deny that we can truthfully speak of such mental states as pain or fear, nor does he offer a behavioristic analysis of such psychological claims. What he opposes is a misunderstanding of our related ordinary ways of talking. This misconception involves hypothesizing a realm of the mental The metaphysical use of names refers to entities in that realm. There's a lot of connection to perception theory, that we name something and that something is perceived to be outside of ourselves is caused by the idea of mentalese. That is something within us that observes or understands the object of vision. It's the understanding process that mentalese does somehow. And by observing it at the same time establishes the idea of the inner. The inner comes to existence. It comes to be present, to be real. And this is what is meant by mentalese, a private inner language that can only be understood by the speaker, the private person himself. And that understanding is also truly inner. It doesn't come to the outside. So one could say that first the private person or the individual person experiences something like pain, he notifies the pain, which is separated from the words. He gives them an etiquette in mentalese. Oh, I discovered pain within myself, or anger. Otherwise there wouldn't be an anger or a pain. The same goes for the objects. Oh, look, I see a pen. The mentalese translate what it sees into a live pen. Otherwise we wouldn't observe. The mentalese has to recognize the pain. In the science of cognition, this has now been abandoned because it causes so much problems. But Wittgenstein dispels it from the very beginning. as being nonsensical or not making much sense at all. Because there are no criterions whatsoever when you only have one singular aspect of reality, like the interior is supposed to be. And especially since it's not participatory, it doesn't participate in the outer reality, so it is completely disjunct, and oddly enough, thereby it does not participate in the interior either. So it doesn't have a connection either way, exterior or interior. It is let loose, not placed anywhere. It is not passed or put into the Okay, I have to end there. I say thank you very much. Have a very pleasant afternoon. Bye bye for now.